Here we are near the end of the 49th episode, and this engine's almost done. So in the preceding few moments, you saw me install these coil packs here on the valve covers, and unfortunately my camera ran out of battery and I didn't realize it, and I kept working. So I'm not going to be able to show you everything that I did right after I installed the coils, but here I'm going to do a summary. So hang on. All right, so here's where I am at now. The cover is just to prevent anything from falling down into the cylinder head, so that's why I've got a towel on here. All right, so what did we do? You saw me put the coils on, which I did mount directly to. I didn't use the mounting bracket. I just mounted these directly to the valve covers because these standoffs are pretty high. Let's see. I put the spark plugs in. They're just standard, GM spark plugs, AC Delco spark plugs. I got these wires here, which are not an exact color match, but they're pretty darn close. To the valve covers. When you're looking at it from a distance, it's hard to tell. I am gonna pull the the heat shields. Remember, there's a silver, some kind of little like aluminum or steel heat shield that goes over this spark plug wire. I'm gonna just pull those off the old engine when I do the swap, and just throw them on here. So we did the spark plugs. I did that off camera, all 8 of them. I went ahead and put the spark plug wires on both sides, and you can see how nicely that came together. And then let's see what else. Oh, I put the coil, these connecting wires on here. Now, you're probably wondering, well, this is the furthest thing from stock. This is definitely not stock. And that's very true. Because I'm not using the brackets, I decided to go ahead and use a non-stock coil wire harness. Okay, and this will just bolt right up to the standard wire harness, the bigger wire harness that plugs into the coils. There's just not a place to mount it here on the valve cover or on the coil bracket. So we'll make some adjustments for that. We'll tie it off somehow, make it look good. I just purchased these on Amazon. And they're pretty well labeled nicely. So cylinder 1 or 8, cylinder 4 or 5. They're pretty well labeled here, so that so that they are matched up to where they need to be on the connector end. Okay. I will point out, I bought these from Amazon. I got each one, each pigtail combo cost $15. Okay. Unfortunately, when I got it out of the package, the last leg of it that goes to cylinder number 7 wasn't long enough, and that was kind of frustrating. So I went back to Amazon and I bought a multi-pack of pigtails that is just this part with the wires, and I spliced it into here to make it longer so it would reach. So I'll be leaving some nice comments on on Amazon feedback for the fact that this didn't fit. It wasn't long enough. So, but I made it work. And that was the case for both sides. This one wasn't long enough. So, so I had to, I bought a 4-pack of these pigtails to make it longer. We'll see. Who knows? Once I get it in the engine, I may not like the way it looks, and I may go back to stock. I don't know how that's all going to play out. By the way, I did purchase some of this here, some of this Tessa tape. And this is really good stuff for wrapping wire harnesses. There should be a number on here, maybe not. Oh yeah, there it is, 51036. This Tessa tape, I'm gonna here's the main hot wire harness, okay? It's in this big bin. And man, that's a mess. But my goal is to remove all of this loom and rewrap everything with Tessa tape. So that's going to be a whole nother project in itself. All right, what else did I install? I think I already pointed out I installed the dipstick on a previous episode, I think episode 48. This dipstick stick is not stock or not standard. The stock dipstick ends up coming up through here between 4 and 6. This one, unfortunately, I don't like the way this comes up right by the filler cap. So I'm not a big fan of that, but actually, if I used the standard filler, this combination would not work. I probably could have bent it down and twisted it so that it does come up and use the standard, and I may yet try to do that, but we'll see. Let's see what else. I think on episode 48 I installed the tensioner. I just put this on here after the coil packs. I put the AC tensioner, belt tensioner on, and I think that is the few things that I did not capture on camera. As I pointed out, I already put the spark plugs in, and I did use some dielectric grease. Where do I have that? Yeah, here it is. I used dielectric grease on the connectors between the coil and the wire and the spark plug in the wire. So we're all set with that, in case anybody's wondering. I did get a cap for the brand new power steering pump. I just haven't put that on yet. Motor mounts are on, as I pointed out previously in a previous episode. So there you have it. This thing is almost done and ready to go into the Suburban. I do have on order shorty headers. I just don't think, because it's 4-wheel drive, I just don't think I'm going to be able to stuff long tube headers in there. As much as I would have liked to have done long tube headers, I'm at the point now where I'm so anxious to get this done. I just want to use the stock mounting flange and keep the catalytic converters, obviously, because there's emissions testing in this state. I'm replacing the stock exhaust manifolds with shorty headers that happen to mount. They have the same mounting location as where the exhaust manifold had. So that should be good. Let's see what else. So I'll be putting the headers on. I know there's something I'm gonna put this. I've got the starter, obviously. I'm gonna put that on. And the alternator, I just replaced it right before I started this project in a Suburban. So that is one of the few things from the Suburban engine that I'm gonna use on here. I'm gonna put the alternator on there from the Suburban. Gosh, I'm hoses. I got to get hoses. I'm probably going to dress those up a little bit. I might get one of those dress kits that dress them up and make them look like this braided hose here. So I got a few steps left. Not a lot, just a few. I'm hoping that I can finish everything and have this ready to be installed at the end of my next episode, which is episode 50. So, boy, wouldn't it be nice to have it completely done, ready for install after the 50th episode, or by the 50th episode? That would be great. So anyway, and I think I could probably pack it all into one last episode, because there just really isn't much left here to do. The exhaust headers, I'll throw the starter on. Why not? I think that's it. And then, of course, I do have to prep the intake manifold. Oh, I forgot to mention that. So on the intake manifold, let me switch views. On the intake manifold, I already mounted inserted the fuel injectors. And what's interesting is because I am using LS1 fuel injectors, they're shorter. They literally are shorter. They're shorter than the stock. The stock is much taller. In fact, let me see if I can find a stock fuel injector. So here's a stock fuel injector that came with this engine. And here is the new LS1 injector that I'm using. And you're probably thinking, well, wait a minute. I thought you just said it's shorter. Well, yeah, it is shorter. So I had to get these extenders, okay? And I got these from Billet they extend it, but after it's extended, it turns out to be a little bit too tall. Actually, here's one of the extenders right here. So it turns out to be a little bit too tall. So they include some adapters to put on the fuel rails to make it all fit. So why did I go with the LS1 injectors? Because this engine, with the way it's modified for performance, is going to require more fuel, okay? This stock injector only provides 37 pounds of fuel, whereas the LS1 injector provides 50 pounds. So that's why I'm going with these injectors, and those obviously just plug in real easy. So a lot of this I did off camera because it's just easy stuff. These just plug in, right? And then my plan is to leave this intake off, okay, until the engine is swapped, okay? So I'm not going to do any more work with the intake manifold until this engine is in the Suburban, right? Because I want to leave this plate connected. Okay, so I'm going to leave this plate on the engine so I can use the lift, have that as my lift point to insert it into the vehicle. All right, so not doing anything with this until this is in the engine. And then, of course, I've got my my throttle body right here. Oh, and by the way, I did order a from Summit a Spectre Performance cold air intake for the engine here. So I am not reusing this behemoth, this intake this air supply. I'm using a nice Spectre cold air intake. Here's all the pieces for that. So I got this from Summit. Can't remember exactly how much I paid for it. I think it was $200, something like that. It was one of the lesser expensive ones. But anyway, I have that. Oh, by the way, here's those pigtails I was telling you about that helped me extend the length of this wire. So let's see what else. Oh, of course, I got my Valley cover here with the oil pressure sensor. Again, that's ready to go, and that won't see the engine until that's in the truck. All right. So this guy's just about ready to go into the Suburban. Once it's in the Suburban, I'll be putting that on, I'll be putting that on, and I'll be putting the throttle body on, and then the cold air intake. All right. Of course, I need to pick up the belts and a couple hoses, and I'm going to go ahead and swap out the radiator. I may go ahead and get an oil catch can. I haven't decided for sure yet. It seems like there's only two options for oil catch cans. From the research I've done, either you got to get a real expensive one that's like $200 or more, or there's real super cheap ones on Amazon for like 20 bucks. It seemed like they're junk. So I don't know if I want to sink another $200 into it, but maybe I should after I've gone this far. So oil catch can. What do you think? Worth putting on, worth using? I don't know. Leave me a comment. So anyway, there you have it. It's just about ready to go into the Suburban. Okay, so episode 50, our next episode, we're going to wrap up this project in terms of things we're going to put on it. And then episode 51, I'm probably going to, episode 51, I'm going to have to clear this trailer off, get all this junk off this trailer, because the engine's going on the trailer. And then I'm going to pull the trailer with the Suburban over to a friend's house, and he's going to help me do the swap. So we'll devote an episode just to the transport of the engine, and then perhaps by episode 52 we'll start the swap. Okay, so we're just 2 or 3 episodes away from swapping this into the Suburban. Okay, so thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Thanks for going along on this adventure with me, and I'm just as excited. I know you're excited to see how this is going to turn out. I am really nervous. I'll be honest. I'm just super nervous. I put a lot of time and effort and green into getting this thing together. So I'm just hoping it comes together well. So stay tuned. We'll see how it turns out. Thanks so much.